Hello, my friend. I got kind of a personal question for you. How do your feet look? Do you have beautiful feet? See, I'm not a big feet fan. I don't like it when people wear the sandals to work or the flip-flops to work. Especially guys, they don't take care of their nails very well. They got that weird second alien toe. I don't like feet. And guess what? God disagrees with me. God thinks feet can be beautiful. How do I know that? Well, the epic passage in Isaiah 52:7. Man, get your Old Testament open and read Isaiah 52, and then go on to 53, and then go on to 54. 3 incredible chapters in there. What's the context? The context is this. There's a Babylonian captivity. The Babylonians have come in, they've taken the tribes into captivity, then the Persians come, and they attack the Babylonians, and all of a sudden, the slave masters over the Jewish people have been defeated, but they're still in Babylonia, and now they got new Persian leaders. In other words, check this out. They don't know they're no longer slaves. They don't know that their new Persian leaders would let them leave and go back to the promised land. They're asleep in their slavery. This is what Isaiah prophesies about these sleeping people in their slavery. He says, how beautiful on the mountains are the feet of those who bring good news, who proclaim peace, who bring good tidings, who proclaim salvation, who say to Zion, your God reigns. What he's saying is, listen, anyone who stands up in that setting and says, guys, we're more free than we think. We have been set free. As a nation, we've been set free. We actually have freedom. Wake up. In fact, if you read the whole passage, it's wake up, wake up, wake up. Isaiah's big on this whole idea of you're more free than you know. By the way, that's not just applying to them. That's prophetically applying to us. In Christ, with his eternal promise to you of life, you are more free than you'll ever know. And when you become a person who spreads freedom, who speaks hope into people and say, you know what, you've been made for eternity, and with Christ you're more free than you could ever imagine, you become a proclaimer of good news. 3 little thoughts I want you to think about today. 3 observations about climbing a mountain to proclaim freedom to sleeping captives. Here they are. Number 1, getting up mountains is hard work. So I'm not saying you just go to work and start going, you're free, you're free. Everyone in your workplace will get saved. Or you just start looking at your kids and go, you're free, and they'll behave perfectly and just walk with Christ faithfully. It is hard to get up the mountain. It's hard to get to the height of the place where you proclaim and people actually listen. It's okay to be tired every once in a while, and it's okay to realize that it's hard. That's my second point. Getting up mountains is worthy work. It's hard, but it's worthy. Recently, I was after service just hanging out by our I Raise My Hand table, and I'm greeting people and shaking hands as they leave. And this student came up to me, man, and she had the biggest smile on her face. And the second I turned to talk to her, she started crying. Now, there's 2 types of crying. There's painful crying, and there's joy crying. And this was joy crying. I said, what's up? And she looked at me, she said, this is week number 3. She said, I've had all these struggles. She started sharing her struggles. She says, week number 3, since I accepted Christ into my life, and everything has changed. And she's just crying and crying. Then I start crying. And then she said to me, I'm getting baptized tomorrow. I saw her right after that baptism. We cried again. My friend, sometimes getting up that mountain is a lot of hard work. But when you run into someone who's been changed like her, you're glad that you are an agent of good news. Here's the last little principle. Mountains don't do the proclaiming. I look at mountains and I go, man, God's real. Mountains are a good backdrop. Mountains are a great place to do a speech from. They're high and everyone can hear. But it takes you, my friend. It's not the pastor. It's not someone that's very much more spiritual. In fact, sometimes the younger people are in Christ, the better they are at proclaiming their freedom to other people. What if you took today and said, who needs to hear, even if it's hard? Who needs to hear, because it'll be worthy, who needs to hear me say, I'm free in Christ and this is my story? I want you to think about that. I want you to open your eyes. Look for that person that your feet can deliver the good news to.